I'm at the NFL scouting combine and I'm thinking about the future of the wide receiver position for the Texans. I'm thinking about, oh man, Jack Besh from TCU, a big slot who can also play outside, win 50-50 balls. That'd be funner. Iowa State's Jaden Higgins. How about that? That'd be a good one. A big body that can win in the end zone, tells us he is a red zone threat. Don't you forget it. Or maybe, just maybe, a first round pick, Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, CJ Stroud's former teammate, just the prototype for what the Texans might want out of the wide receiver position. And then the big bombshell drops Friday. The Texans have extreme interest in trading for Deebo Samuel. I'll tell you why I don't like it, powered by my friends here at Bet US. The first thing about this is I'm not on board with Deebo Samuel, the football player. The production has dipped significantly from when he was an all-world wide receiver in 2021. I mean, it's the conversation we had about Cooper Kupp when we talked about this. The production has not been anywhere close to 2021. That player's never coming back. But Kupp was still a pretty productive player, even though he battled through some injuries. Deebo Samuel hasn't been productive for the San Francisco 49ers. He has not been able to average over 1,000 scrimmage yards in the 3 seasons since his incredible 1,700 plus scrimmage yard performance. He isn't efficient with the football when he runs it. He's not trusted in the passing game. He's not a clean, well put together route runner. It's not a great football player talent fit for the Houston Texans. I just don't like it. And look, they need wide receiver help. They need guys to fill out the roster behind Nico Collins, but there are free agents that I feel like are better football players than Deebo Samuel. If you're going to trade for somebody, trade for Cooper Kupp, get him off the Rams. He's got more than Deebo Samuel has from a player standpoint. And you know who has all of it left? Rookies. And I know that rookies are hard to trust, but it's hard to trust a declining player like Deebo Samuel, who's entering his year 29. He's 29 years old this upcoming season. He'll be 30 if you sign him to a contract that lasts beyond this year. I'm just not in on Deebo Samuel, the player. I'm also not in on Deebo Samuel, the person, and I'll tell you why right after I show you these odds here presented by my friends at BetUS. You think Deebo Samuel going to be on the Texans as they're interested and the Commanders are interested, and they're the two teams that are the most interested in Deebo Samuel? You can bet on it at BetUS. Code YouTube150 is going to get you a 150% bonus up to $2,000. Now, obviously, these lines moved once the news came out, but 8-1, you think the Texans are going to do it? It's still good odds. YouTube 150 is the code to get signed up, my friends at BetUS. Deebo Samuel, the person, disgruntled in a winning organization like the San Francisco 49ers and maybe needing to get motivated to play football at the highest level. Look, I believe D'Amico Ryans can do it. And if he does make the trade for his former player that was on the other side of the ball when he was in San Francisco, I'll believe that D'Amico Ryans can get the most out of Deebo Samuel, even though I don't think there's a whole lot left to Deebo Samuel's game. I'll believe it, but you shouldn't have to be motivating a guy to be excellent in a winning organization. And I get that the 49ers have got some unique elements and aspects to them, and they've certainly been trying to replace Deebo Samuel with the investment in wide receiver year after year in San Francisco. But that's also just good team building so that when you get to a situation like this, it doesn't hurt you to get rid of a guy like Deebo Samuel. So I don't love that you'd have to motivate this guy to figure out exactly what he has left in the tank. Like, I would want a guy that's ravenous to continue playing. Like when Cooper Kupp's told, hey, you're getting moved on from, and he says, I'm going to go out there and have the best offseason and go in there and prove I still got stuff left. Deebo Samuel's showing up at Super Bowl Radio Row and it looks like he's put on a few LBs. So, I mean, you got to get him remotivated to be a good football player, to be a maybe great football player. I'm not in on that. And lastly, the third part about this, I'm not in on the price to get Deebo Samuel. The Texans only have 6, that's 5 plus 1, draft picks as we talk right now. They're not going to trade a premium draft pick, so 1, 2, and 3. That's not going to be what the price is for Deebo Samuel because you're helping out the 49ers by taking him off their books. They don't want to cut him. They don't want to release him. That's rough for San Fran to deal with. They want to trade him. They want to get rid of him that way. So you're helping them out. So it's going to be your 5th or maybe your 7th or a 6th with a condition in the future or a 5th with a condition in the future. But I'd rather just have that ammunition for Nick Caserio. Nick Caserio in the 4th round last year He ended up with Cade Stover in the middle of the 4th round, might I add. And that was a productive rookie tight end, one of the best blocking tight ends or the best blocking tight end amongst rookies, one of the better run blocking tight ends in football last year. The pass blocking was a little iffy for Stover, but a player that had a useful role right away. Henry To'oTo'o was a late round pick that the Texans hit on. Then Caserio likes to use some of those late round guys to move around and go and get those guys that he really likes, like Kalen Bullock, like Kamari Lassiter. When Caserio's moving around in the draft to go and get those guys, he needs a little bit of that ammunition. Plus, I don't know what Deebo Samuel wants for money. You already got to motivate him to be a good football player. You got to motivate him with money too. The cap situation is a little tight, though. Caserio said they're going to make some cap space. So it's just not – I don't love the cost of acquisition to get Deebo Samuel. Not only that, do I feel like the cost of acquisition to get the asset is too high. I don't believe the asset's that good from a fit standpoint between the ears and a fit standpoint in his cleats. So I'm just not on board with the Deebo Samuel situation. And if you are, convince me otherwise in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the great combine content from this week. We've already talked about tight ends, talked a little bit about defensive linemen, linebackers, and things like that earlier this week. We'll have conversations about wide receivers and running backs on the channel. The SNL channel also has some fantastic stuff for you as well. Live show with myself and Landry Locker talking about the running backs, wide receivers. We did a little bit more of this Deebo Samuel conversation. We've talked about some other positions over the course of the week, so check that channel out and don't miss out on any of that. But I'm not thinking the Texans are missing out on anything if they don't get Deebo Samuel. Let him go cross-country to the Commanders. Let them try to figure it out. And the Texans, if they're dying to have a veteran, they're dying to send assets, go get Cooper Kupp. I like him more than Deebo Samuel, but I really like the idea of just going and signing some free agents and then going and drafting some players to help line out and fill out that wide receiver room, that depth chart for the Houston Texans in 2025. So appreciate you watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed all the combine content. There's still more coming. We got to talk to the big uglies, and I say that affectionately because I was a big ugly for a little bit of time when I played football way back in the day. So I say it affectionately, and I appreciate what the line of scrimmage does for football teams, and goodness knows the Texans need some line of scrimmage help too. So we'll be talking to offensive linemen this weekend at the NFL Scouting Combines. Appreciate everybody following along. Thanks for watching the video. I said that already. Hope you enjoyed it. Also said that already. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity do. I haven't said that before. Thanks to Bet US, who I'm sure loves that I dropped the hip-doppity, dippity do, which I'll probably never be able to recreate. All right, that's the end of the video. Thanks. Bye, everybody.